the National Children's Authority, which is functional, and I think what confused people at first, it was called the National Council for Children. When the Children's Amendment Act was made, we changed it to the National Authority, the National Children's Authority, and I can inform you that they are doing good work. They do the issue of monitoring, coordination on issues to do with the children's rights. At times they address the problems that children face, especially the defilement cases in case they report. So that it is functional. Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to inform my colleagues that when we're celebrating the day, the International Children's Day, UNICEF agreed that all members of Parliament should go back to their constituencies and listen to these children. They are willing to facilitate you, and I will request those who are interested to go and listen to those children. You know what they are going through. I was hearing whatever you are raising here, issues to do with police, issues to do with probation, issues to do with the community development officers. As we begin this campaign, please have time and go and listen to the children in your constituencies. You will debate better, you will make better policies after listening to the children. And I would request any member of Parliament who feels would like to listen to the children in your constituencies, could you please register with the Office of the Government Chief Whip, and then we plan accordingly so that we listen to our children. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to stop there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I also join my colleagues in congratulating you. Let me take this opportunity to thank my sister for raising that very important matter, especially that touches the children or our children. Mr. Speaker, I would like to inform this House that the mandate of the social well-being of a child and protection lies in the hands of the local governments, as per the Local Government Act 1997 as amended. And it stipulates very clearly how the child care and protection is a function that was decentralized. Unfortunately, this item is not normally funded. Ministry of Local Government or Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is supposed to be giving or supporting in the formation of the legal framework and the oversight support. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that KCCA rounded up our children and were taken to Koblin. Yes, the manner in which it was handled was wrong, but they took their 161, and they were not only children, but there were some adults. And they were taken to the Koblin Youth Institute. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform this House that it is not true that we do not have food. The food is available because every quarter, Ministry of Finance gives us funds, because this is an institute that is meant to train the youth that have dropped out of school, and we normally train between 60 to 80. And training 60 to 80 does not mean that we do not have the capacity to accommodate more than 200 children. So the 160, we are able to accommodate them, and we had the food to cater for them. And as for now, even fourth quarter, they have released funds, and we are going to buy for them food. And thirdly, maybe on the issue of health, why I think it was raised, one of the adults, who was a lady, was taken there and she was bleeding, and she was taken to the hospital, and as I speak now, she's fine. She was not a child, she was an adult. We do not have only street children, but we have even adults. I
Now-
think you have seen. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank my colleague who has raised that very unfortunate scenario, and it is very true. She reported to my senior minister, and as I speak now, our embassy is following it up, and there is a process of repatriating a dead body. The embassy is going to handle that. We need a death certificate from the other side to confirm exactly what caused the death. And of course, after the body reaches here, we shall still do another post-mortem. And I want to assure my sister that the company that took our late sister will be the same company to repatriate the body back to Uganda. So she will not spend any cost on that. But we shall get a whole report from the embassy, because the embassy of Uganda is handling it. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to confirm to this House, unless the person does not go through our system, we now do due diligence, and every girl that gets out of the country with a particular company, we have all the records. And it is very clear that any girl who gets a problem from the other side, under that company, of course, there are no boys. The company makes sure that they return the body. Right Honorable Speaker, just 2 weeks ago, I had the same situation in my district, and the company that took the girl brought her back. And the story was they had removed the kidneys. But when we reached for the postmortem in Mulago, everything was intact. That's why we request a postmortem from the other side, and we get a report, and we also do the same from here, so that we confirm what exactly killed our girl. Thank you, but I request we can bring a report on that. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to thank the chairperson and the committee members for the elaborate report, and of course not forgetting the mover of the motion, Honorable Nakut, who raised that motion. Right Honorable Speaker, as a ministry, we have a comprehensive strategic plan on how to trace, rehabilitate, and resettle these street children. I love the way each time the issues of street children come up, everybody comes up in arms. Right Honorable Speaker, would do much if the funds were available, because this strategic plan is there, and I love what my colleague Delop has said. My predecessor had tabled a very good plan, and out of the 5 billion that she requested, only 1 billion was released. And since that time, we have not received any other funds. This financial year, in our budget, we have 140 million for the whole financial year. This quarter, they have released only 10 million. As I speak now, the way you have said that there are children who were collected, in Koblin, as I speak now, we have 216 children that we are feeding, we are rehabilitating within that 10 million. And remember that this Koblin Youth Institute was meant to train the youth. So we are overstrained, overconstrained, and of course now the youth have nowhere to train from because children. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the street children, yes, you're talking about the traffickers. And I would like to thank the police in Karamoja because they have tried. The last time I was there 2 months ago, they had arrested 20 traffickers, and they had been paraded in court. That shows they are working. But the whole problem, it all goes back to the parents. If we do not address the issue of parents, in the report, they said that we are supposed to disseminate the parenting guidelines, which we have done in Napak and Amdat. But I think the whole issue is around mindset. The whole issue is around mindset. They know that if I come to Kampala, there is some little money I'm going to get, and at home we shall improve. So the best way, much as we are thinking of putting there a lot of money, talking about the issues, the problems they have, before we deal with the issue of mindset. Right, Honorable Speaker, as I speak now, we do not have only children. You have seen even the women. You have seen the women. And what is funny is that the men are sending the women to collect money. Every month, the woman has to send home some money. So you can see that the whole problem is around mindset. Right, Honorable Speaker, yes, the economy is not doing well, but even in appropriation, that's what you appropriated.
10 million?
You appropriated 120 million for the whole financial year. And I remember we had tabled that we want the 5 billion so that we are able to do something, so that we are able to construct Koblin. Because they are in temporary shelters. It's not a permanent structure. There is no fence. So that's why at times we take them there. If they get an opportunity, they escape. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the whole thing is, if we address the issue of finance, if we address the issue of mindset, and of course the issue of the traffickers, Right Honorable Speaker, I think with our comprehensive strategic plan in place, we will be able to address all the issues that have been raised, working together with the relevant ministries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues for raising very pertinent issues. And I don't know whether I should go one by one or I make a summary.
Just do a summary.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'll raise some few, then I do a summary. On the
you have
issue,
3 minutes, Honorable Minister.
Yes. On the issue of money for the women, or the women MPs, it is for Women's Day, and that one is sent to the districts through the National Women Council. On the issue of the youth, 3 million. That is only once in a year. For the youth, every quarter, we send 1 million to the districts to help the district executive committee for the youth to do their work. So every year we send there 4 million. Maybe if we want us to change it, that this should be for the Youth Day. But this is money which is meant for that. And Right Honorable Speaker, in the last quarter we did not send anything. Reason, the finance for the National Youth Council was reduced by 80%. Because we were getting only 4 billion last financial year, and this financial year they had given us only 800 million for the whole financial year. So we were unable to send money to the districts last quarter. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of our students who are in the presidential skilling hub. Thank you, Right Honorable
And for
Speaker.
Women Council, I think, also.
For the youth, Right Honorable Speaker, last quarter they gave us 200 million. Yet we were supposed to receive 1 billion. Because it's supposed to be 4 billion per financial year. And that was an agreed position, and we have not received the money.
Women Council?
Women Council, I don't have it offhand. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank you for that intervention. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of our graduates from the presidential skilling hubs, yes, we are still taking very few, but we believe that when the budget is there, we shall increase. Because recently we were with the head of that skilling, and he said if we increase the money, they will increase the number of the students that they are getting from your districts. However, Right Honorable Speaker, like a colleague asked, we have trained them, and what next? We are still negotiating with finance, with the EMUGA, so that they can help us and put a category for these children who are getting out of our technical schools from the presidential skilling hubs, so that it can also be another category where people can borrow money from a myoga and they buy their equipments and they move on, other than giving them things that are free, Right Honorable Speaker. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank you once again and say that the youth celebrations should always be considered in the budget so that we avoid changing the dates. For example, we were supposed to have it on 12th August, but due to my senior minister there, he knows what he went through to give us that money, we had to shift it to 18th August. But we want to thank you, and we pray that whatever I have not raised here, we are going to follow it up. Thank you. I, Nyirabashitsi Sarah Mateke, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. I, Nyirabashitsi Sarah Mateke, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to thank the movers of the motion and the seconders, and also thank my colleagues for the various issues that you have raised. I would like to inform this House, Right Honorable Speaker, that things to do with children are multisectoral in approach, and I would like to commit myself here that we are going to work with the different sectors, both in government and non-government, so that we can see how we can address some of these issues. Right Honorable Speaker, yes, the boys are also children. They are also equal to the girls. But we cannot take it for granted. The girls are more vulnerable than the boys. When you're standing here, everybody is talking about the teenage pregnancies. But no one is talking about those that have impregnated these young girls. From January 2020 to June 2021, we have registered 21,000 defilement cases. 21,000 defilement cases. And who are these that are being defiled? These are our girls. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to put it clear that most of the things that you raised, that members raised, were addressed on the day when we were celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child in Kololo. Some of the issues were put forward clearly by the guest of honor, who was the First Lady and the Minister of Education, and other things were raised by my senior minister. And at an appropriate time, you will allow me to lay on table the speeches that were read that day so that they can add to the motion. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Vice President for the statement and for the issues that the members have raised here. Right Honorable Speaker, on November 20th, we were celebrating the International Day, or the International Children's Day, and the theme was very clear: investing in our future means investing in our children. And I'm not making a statement. It is very clear that, Right Honorable Speaker, whatever we are debating here, whatever development plans that we have, if we do not address the issues of our children, we may not go very far. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll talk like three things only. One, on the issue of parenting. On the issue of parenting, and it all starts with us. As members of Parliament, those who are here, just make a flashback, a reflection, and see what time do you go to see your children? How many hours do you spend with your children? You leave all the responsibility with the women. At times the women also go to work. So it all starts with us. And I disagree with the member who said that the well-to-do children do not face these problems. I have been having such cases where you find this, one of the partners is one is a lawyer, another one is a doctor, and the child is impregnated by a shamba boy. So I get such cases. So don't look at well-to-do, all the children face the same challenges. Right Honorable Speaker, you have talked about counseling, and I still repeat that we should make a reflection, we as members of Parliament, so that tomorrow when you're going out there, they know that you can talk for the children. Now, if you're the one who is doing this, how will you begin to talk in your constituencies? And all this starts with the mindset. If you see a lady and you say, this is my daughter, this is my girl, I think something can change. It all starts with the mindset. Someone said putting on long clothes. It's just the mindset. When you see somebody putting on a miniskirt and it comes in your head, that's what happens. And I believe that we can change this. The Minister of Ethics is there. She will also improve on the morals and values of our society that have been eroded. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform my colleagues that we have the National Children's Authority, which is functional, and I think what confused people, at first it was called the National Council for Children. When the Children's Amendment Act was made, we changed it to the National Authority, the National Children's Authority. And I can inform you that they are doing good work. They do the issue of monitoring, coordination on issues to do with the children's rights. At times they address the problems that children face, especially the defilement cases, in case they report. Yeah. So that it is functional. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform my colleagues that when we're celebrating the day, the International Children's Day, UNICEF agreed that all members of Parliament should go back to their constituencies and listen to these children. They are willing to facilitate you, and I will request those who are interested to go and listen to those children. You know what they are going through. I was hearing whatever you are raising here, issues to do with police, issues to do with probation, issues to do with the community development officers. As we begin this campaign, please have time and go and listen to the children in your constituencies. You will debate better, you will make better policies after listening to the children. And I would request any member of Parliament who feels would like to listen to the children in your constituencies, could you please register with the Office of the Government Chief Whip, and then we plan accordingly so that we listen to our children. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to stop there. Thank you so much.
Sound.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also join my colleagues in congratulating you. Let me take this opportunity to thank my sister for raising that very important matter, especially that touches the children or our children. Mr. Speaker, I would like to inform this House that the mandate of the social well-being of a child and protection lies in the hands of the local governments. as per the Local Government Act 1997 as amended.
Sound.
And it stipulates very clearly how the child care and protection is a function that was decentralized.
Check. Sound check.
Unfortunately, this item is not normally funded. Ministry of Local Government or Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is supposed to be giving or supporting in the formation of the legal framework and the oversight support. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that KCCA rounded up our children and were taken to cobbling. Yes, the manner in which it was handled was wrong, but they took their 161, and they were not only children, but there were some adults. And they were taken to the Cobbling Youth Institute. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform this House that it is not true that we do not have food. The food is available because every quarter, Ministry of Finance gives us funds, because this is an institute that is meant to train the youth that have dropped out of school, and we normally train between 60 to 80. And training 60 to 80 does not mean that we do not have the capacity to accommodate more than 200 children. So the 160, we are able to accommodate them, and we had the food to cater for them. And as for now, even fourth quarter, they have released funds, and we are going to buy for them food. And thirdly, maybe on the issue of health, why I think it was raised, one of the adults, who was a lady, was taken there and she was bleeding, and she was taken to the hospital, and as I speak now, she's fine. She was not a child, she was an adult. We do not have only street children, but we have even adults. I think you have seen. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to thank my colleague who has raised that very unfortunate scenario, and it is very true. She reported to my senior minister, and as I speak now, our embassy is following it up, and there is a process of repatriating a dead body. The embassy is going to handle that. We need a death certificate from the other side to confirm exactly what caused the death. And of course, after the body reaches here, we shall still do another post-mortem. And I want to assure my sister that the company that took our late sister will be the same company to repatriate the body back to Uganda. So she will not spend any cost on that. But we shall get a whole report from the embassy, because the embassy of Uganda is handling it. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to confirm to this House, unless the person does not go through our system, we now do due diligence, and every girl that gets out of the country with a particular company, we have all the records. And it is very clear that any girl who gets a problem from the other side, under that company, of course, there are no boys. The company makes sure that they return the body. Right Honourable Speaker, just 2 weeks ago, I had the same situation in my district, and the company that took the girl brought her back. And the story was they had removed the kidneys. But when we reached for the postmortem in Mulago, everything was intact. That's why we request a postmortem from the other side, and we get a report, and we also do the same from here, so that we confirm what exactly killed our girl. Thank you, but I request we can bring a report on that. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the chairperson and the committee members for the elaborate report, and of course not forgetting the mover of the motion, Honourable Nakut, who raised that motion. Right Honorable Speaker, as a ministry, we have a comprehensive strategic plan on how to trace, rehabilitate, and resettle these street children. I love the way each time the issues of street children come up, everybody comes up in arms. Right Honorable Speaker, would do much if the funds were available, because this strategic plan is there, and I love what my colleague the Lop has said. My predecessor had tabled a very good plan, and out of the 5 billion that she requested, only 1 billion was released. And since that time, we have not received any other funds. This financial year, in our budget, we have 140 million for the whole financial year. This quarter, they have released only 10 million. As I speak now, the way you have said that there are children who were collected, in Koblin, as I speak now, we have 216 children that we are feeding, we are rehabilitating within that 10 million. And remember that this Koblin Youth Institute was meant to train the youth. So we are overstrained, overconstrained, and of course now the youth have nowhere to train from because children. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the street children, yes, you're talking about the traffickers. And I would like to thank the police in Karamoja because they have tried. The last time I was there 2 months ago, they had arrested 20 traffickers, and they had been paraded in court. That shows they are working. But the whole problem, it all goes back to the parents. If we do not address the issue of parents, in the report, they said that we are supposed to disseminate the parenting guidelines, which we have done in Napak and Amdat. But I think the whole issue is around mindset. The whole issue is around mindset. They know that if I come to Kampala, there is some little money I'm going to get, and at home we shall improve. So the best way, much as we are thinking of putting there a lot of money, talking about the issues, the problems they have, before we deal with the issue of mindset. Right Honorable Speaker, as I speak now, we do not have only children. You have seen even the women. You have seen the women. And what is funny is that the men are sending the women to collect money. Every month, the woman has to send home some money. So you can see that the whole problem is around mindset. Right Honorable Speaker, yes, the economy is not doing well, but even in appropriation, that's what you appropriated.
10 million?
You appropriated 120 million for the whole financial year. And I remember we had tabled that we want the 5 billion so that we are able to do something, so that we are able to construct Koblin. Because they are in temporary shelters. It's not a permanent structure. There is no fence. So that's why at times we take them there. If they get an opportunity, they escape. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the whole thing is, if we address the issue of finance, if we address the issue of mindset, and of course the issue of the traffickers, Right Honorable Speaker, I think with our comprehensive strategic plan in place, we will be able to address all the issues that have been raised, working together with the relevant ministries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues for raising very pertinent issues. And I don't know whether I should go one by one or I make a summary.
No, just do a summary.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'll raise some few, then I do a summary. On the
You have
issue,
3 minutes, Honourable Minister.
yes, on the issue of money for the women, or the women MPs, it is for Women's Day, and that one is sent to the districts through the National Women Council. On the issue of the youth, 3 million.
Madam Speaker.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in the providential goodness have appointed us leaders and parliaments for the society and just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessings descend upon them here assembled, and granted them as in your presence, to it and cause all matter that shall come under their deliberation. He is so just and fair in manner to promote honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to your church.
Item 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, it is always a saddening moment to convene in a house to bid farewell to a colleague who has just been sitting on the front bench. It is not an easy thing. The grief and sorrow have been evident since 7th September 2024, when the tragedy of the demise of the beloved colleague, the woman member of Kisoro district, and a minister of state passed on at Mengo Hospital, and this took place at around 9 in the morning. Yesterday, during the memorial prayers, I recounted how I had to drive myself to Mengo Hospital to see how we could salvage Sarah's life. But when it is your time, it is your time. God's timing is never our timing. And I want to appreciate the unity of the members of parliament. Unity from executive and from judiciary on what happened and what is still happening. We want to really thank you on this. It's a painful reality that has to be accepted. Death is so cruel. Indeed, we are living in a borrowed life. Today, I liked what the preacher said, that all of us have borrowed life, and we are living in borrowed life. Anytime God can say, give it back to me. Honorable members, this is the 5th time that the 11th Parliament convenes to pay tribute to fallen members. As you may recall, we lost then the Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Lanya Jacob, in March 2022. We lost Honorable Kabe Patrick in December 2022. Honorable Charles Engola Machidogo in May 2023. Honorable Cecilia Ogwal in January 2024. And hardly 80 months, Sarah is no more. She's also gone. We need to pray for ourselves as an institution, as a country, for protection and favor from God. The Lord needs us, and we need to seek for the Lord's guidance for us to be able to be here to serve humanity. Honorable members, we are all imperfect mortal beings whose final destiny is always death. I therefore urge you to have love for each other. When you see what happened to Sarah, the people who were with Sarah a day before, you'd wonder, why would I have a grudge with anybody else? Because you don't know when your time is. Why would you be in wars over smaller things? Let's have love for each other. Let's be there for each other. Let's be each other's keeper. Because when you see what is happening, we need more of God's intervention. And I want, without preempting the tribute motion and the debate, the death of Honorable Sarah has robbed this parliament and this nation. She has robbed the family of Honorable Mateke, the people of Kisoro, and the people of Uganda. She was such a lovable girl, lovable lady, down to earth. A minister you'd approach any time. You don't even imagine she's a minister. She was always there for everybody. And her passion for children was too much. She had a passion for children. I don't know how many people she did not ever ask to join, to bring children to take to Metropolitan University. She gave scholarships in Metropolitan University. She really promoted the university. She has a very good track record, legislative record, and that can be traced from both the 9th Parliament and 11th Parliament, where she effectively represented the people of Kisoro in the 9th Parliament and served with a distinction on the East African Community Affairs Committee. Honorable members, as you may be aware, the effectiveness of a legislator can significantly be determined by the capacity of the debate, lobby, persuasion of members. On those parameters, Honorable Sarah Mateke excelled in that. As a minister, her commitment to the plight of young children, the youth, was evidenced in the passion with which she tabled the legislative business for the social development sector. In many ways, she became synonymous with the youth and the children. Her relocation to the Ministry of Defense was therefore no surprise. Given her excellent work in the youth and the children docket, she really had to be relocated to another tougher ministry. And we want to thank President Museveni for entrusting Sarah with such responsibility. We really want to thank him so much. For the people of Kisoro, I'm aware that Honorable Sarah left 3 pledges, 3 major projects which were incomplete, notably the Mateke bridge in Bufumbira North, which connected the Democratic Republic of Congo and the rehabilitation of Buhosi Health Center 2. As the construction of this bridge was taking place, there was also a men's ward at Nyarusiza Health Center 3. This was budgeted for, but then there was a shortfall of money, and the projects were ongoing. We budgeted for that money in the last financial year to complete the projects that were started, but unfortunately the money was removed, but the projects are still there. We want to request the Prime Minister that these projects that were left not completed, that you make a follow-up on them and see how we can have Sarah's legacy kept in the constituency. Honorable members, death is inevitable. It's a journey for all of us. The Bible in the 2 Samuel 14:14 states, "For we will surely die and are like water spilled on the ground, which cannot be gathered again." And indeed, Sarah has died. She can never come back to her life again. Death is a bad reaper, always snatching the unripe fruits. Honorable Sarah has died at the time we needed her most. She was a team worker. She was that uniting factor who would never want to see any problem anywhere. And that is the Sarah that we are paying tribute today. I want to request members of parliament, as we pay tribute to our sister, let's pay tribute with the dignity, because she was a dignified person. She was really a dignified person. Her body will be brought here, and after that, we'll do the normal ceremonies. But Honorable Sarah survived with one son. That is Tugume Isaac, who is somewhere. I will be showing you later the. You're gonna just move here. That is the son to the late Sarah, Mateke. But all we have to tell you as Parliament, that the God we serve is a God of orphans, is a father of orphans, a mother of orphans, and he will see you through. Keep your mother's name alive. Keep the name alive and be the person that your mother would always want you to be. Honorable members, I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to lastly pass on our condolence from members from Parliament of Uganda, to the NRM fraternity, to the President of Republic of Uganda, to the family of the Matekes, the people of Kisoro, the defense, and people of Uganda. I want to thank you, and I say all this for God and my country. On a special note also, I want to recognize the members of the 9th Parliament who are here, former members of parliament who are here, 9th parliament, who were together with the Sarah. I've not seen one standing here next to me. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. 9th Parliament. Thank you so much. Thank you. May Sarah's soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Honorable members, may we please rise as the casket is transferred from the central lobby to the chamber. Remain standing to receive the anthems. You may resume your seats.
Honorable members, on the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have Right Honorable Dr. Ziwa Margaret, the former Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly. You're most welcome. The members of the technical bench, we have immediate family members of the late Sarah Mateke. We have Mr. Isaac Tugume, is a son. Isaac. We have Mr. Mukisa Isaac, is also adopted son to her late brother. We have Mr. Jonan, a brother. We have Miss Nyiraneza Ruth, she's a sister. Ruth. We have Miss Patience, she's also a sister. We have Justice Gash Christopher. Justice Gash is a brother to Honorable Mateke, the old man. And then we have Miss Grace Muregesi, the auntie, the sister to Sarah's mom. They are all here to join us in paying tribute for the late Sarah. And I will introduce more as they come. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have extended family members, friends and well-wishers of late Sarah, and they are also here to witness the proceedings. Welcome. In the VIP gallery, we have the European Union Ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Jan Sadek. You're most welcome. He is accompanied by Mr. Emmanuel Giazo, the press advisor, and Arnold, the political advisor. You're most welcome. They are here to witness the proceedings. We'll be introducing them as they come.
Item 4, laying of wreaths. The Right Honorable Speaker. Her Excellency the Vice President. Her Excellency Vice President. The Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business. The Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business. The Right Honorable Leader of the Opposition in Parliament. The Right Honorable Leader of the Opposition in Parliament. The Government Chief Whip. The Government Chief Whip. The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. The Honorable Minister of Education and Sports. The Chief Opposition Whip. The Chief Opposition Whip. The Chief Opposition Whip. The Parliamentary Commission. The Parliamentary Commission. The Parliamentary Commission. The Parliamentary Commission. The NRM Parliamentary Caucus. The NRM Parliamentary Caucus. The NRM Parliamentary Caucus. The NRM Parliamentary Caucus. The National Unity Platform Party. 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 The Forum for Democratic Change Whip. The Forum for Democratic Change Whip. The Forum for Democratic Change Whip. The Forum
Honorable Mwijiche, you have not joined the team.
Honorable Mwijiche,
Thank you.
you have not joined the team.
When you're announcing Katonga, where?
Honorable Mwijiche, thank you.
The
Ayana
Democratic Party whip. The Uganda People's Congress whip.
He's a president, not a whip.
The Uganda People's Congress. President.
Honorable Mongi, can you escort the president? Escort the president.
The People's Progressive Party whip. Kisoro Parliamentary Group. Kigezi Parliamentary Group. Lango Parliamentary Group. Lango Parliamentary Group. I'm on ready PDF. West Nile Parliamentary Group. The Uganda People's Defense Forces. Karamoja Parliamentary Group, Independents, Busoga Parliamentary Group, Buganda Parliamentary Caucus, Ankole Parliamentary Caucus, Rwenzori Parliamentary Group, Bunyoro Parliamentary Group, Bukedi Parliamentary Group. Bugisu Parliamentary Caucus. Teso Parliamentary Group. The Parliamentary Committee on ICT. The Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association. The Uganda Parliamentary Youth Forum. The Parliamentary Pension Scheme. The Visionary Women Entrepreneurs. The Parliamentary Circle. The Parliamentary Prayer Breakfast. The East African Legislative Assembly. The Parliamentary Anglican Chaplaincy. The Parliamentary Catholic Chaplaincy. The Parliamentary Forum for Children. Honorable Kabasharira Naomi. Honorable Diana Mutasingwa and Honorable Anyakun Davinia Esther.
Thank you so much. We also have condolence messages. We have a condolence message from Her Excellency the Vice President of Republic of Uganda, Honorable Jessica Lupo Epel, with the 5 million shillings given to the family. Thank you so much. We have a condolence message from Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs to the family of 20 million. It's already being handed. We have a condolence message from National Water, the Managing Director, signed by Dr. Silva Mugisha with 5 million shillings. Thank you so much. And we also have a message from Dr. Sylvia, the Assistant MD of National Water, enclosed 3 million shillings to the family. Thank you so much. We'll continue announcing as they come.
Item 5. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabashitsi, former Woman Representative Kisoro District and Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs in charge of Defense.
Honorable members, as I said before, a colleague, a friend, a sister, a mother lying before us here, we are paying tribute to her and saying bye to our sister. And the only best way we can do that is for us to pay tribute in this august house where she belongs to. This is her second home. After Kisoro, this is all of you, this is your second home. So we will get the motion be moved by the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I move under Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure a motion for the resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi, the District Woman Representative Kisoro, and the State Minister for Defense for her dedicated service to the Republic of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, whereas the Parliament of Uganda received with deep sorrow the sad news of the untimely death of Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi, the District Woman Representative Kisoro, and the State Minister for Defense, which occurred on Saturday, 7 September 2024 in Kampala. Whereas that aware that Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi has had an illustrious and distinguished career serving the people of Uganda in various capacities, including as a Minister of State for Defense in charge of defense till the time of her death. She served as a Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs from 2021 to 2024. She was a district woman representative of Kisoro in the 9th and 11th Parliament. She was a chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the Metropolitan International University and Makerere Metropolitan Management Institute, Kampala, Assistant Town Clerk, Kisoro Town Council. Appreciating that Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi was a diligent and visionary leader who, during her time as State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, advocated for the protection to the children, to the rights of children, encouraged youth empowerment and education, and established the Nyirabasisi Foundation, through which she initiated education programs for empowering girls and women. Firmly convinced that Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi exhibited unwavering commitment towards community development and greatly contributed to the mainstreaming and participation of women and youth in the development agenda of Uganda. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament as follows. 1. That Parliament collectively conveys its deepest condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and the people of Kisoro and Uganda, loss of a distinguished leader. 2. That Parliament, this is my justification. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, this is the justification for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Nyirabasisi Sarah Mateke, the State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs in charge of defense, a politician, educationist, philanthropist, entrepreneur, and a community leader. Honorable Speaker, Saturday, 7th September 2024 was a dark morning for the country, as we learned of the sudden demise of the State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs in charge of defense, a politician, educationist, entrepreneur, and a community leader. Honorable Nyirabasisi Sarah Mateke succumbed to heart complications at Mengo Hospital, where she had gone for treatment. Honorable members, the late Nyirabasisi Sarah Mateke was born on 15th July 1974 and grew up from Bugahe village, Nyakabingo parish, Chahi sub-county in Kisoro district, to a veteran politician, the Honorable Dr. Philemon Mateke, and Joy Rwamfizi Mateke, a professional teacher. Honorable Speaker, she was married to the late Nzeimana Alex and survived with one child. Honorable Speaker, the late Sarah Nyirabasisi started her academic journey from Sesame Primary School, where she completed her primary leaving examinations before joining her secondary level of education. She joined Maryhill High School for her Uganda Certificate of Education and completed in 1987. She studied and sat for her Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education at Kampala Comprehensive High School in 1991. Sarah joined Bugema University for a degree program, graduating with a Bachelor of Business Administration in 1995. Sarah was admitted at Law Development Center, Kampala, for an administrative law course and graduated with administrative law certificate in the year 2000. Determined to excel, Sarah enrolled at Uganda Christian University and graduated with a postgraduate diploma in public administration and management in the year 2007. Sarah furthered her academic achievements and enrolled for a master's degree at Bugema University and graduated with a master's in public health in the year 2017. Let Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Sarah was a bright and focused student who struggled to attain high goals. Her achievement for achievement has inspired many girls and youth today to further their education, to join politics, business, and other gainful employment to cause developmental change for this country. Let Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Nyirabasisi Sarah Mateke has been a dedicated patriot in serving her country and the people of Kisoro, in particular, after living as a role model from her youthful days. She ran a family business dealing in timber production and transportation. She served in various capacities in the political, corporate, and public service arenas during her tour of service and life, which include the following. Let Honorable Speaker and colleagues, allow me at this point to thank His Excellency the President for giving the Right Honorable Sarah Mateke an opportunity to serve in the capacity of Minister. His Excellency the President appointed Sarah Mateke as a Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs in charge of defense from March 2024, and has been involved in the formulation of better policies in the sector before her demise. Honorable members, as a member of the 11th Parliament, His Excellency the President appointed Sarah as State Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, with her experience of championing the interests of the girl and boy children to accessing formal education in boarding schools through her Nyirabasisi Foundation, organized and empowering women into development programs. That Honorable Speaker, Sarah Mateke Nyirabasisi has been the district woman representative for Kisoro district in the 11th Parliament of Uganda from the year 2021 till her demise. She was a member of the 9th Parliament and served diligently on various committees of Parliament between the year 2011 to 2016. Sarah served as a chairperson, Board of Trustees, Makerere Metropolitan International University from 2014 till her last breath. Right Honorable Speaker, She has been serving as the chairperson, Board of Directors, Makerere Metropolitan Management Institute from 2014 to her time of death. She has been a hard-working and committed civil servant. When she was serving in the Kisoro District Local Government, one as a senior assistant clerk in the services, assistant town clerk in the services of Kisoro Town Council between the year 2005 to 2011. She was a personnel officer in the services of Kisoro Town Council between the year 2001 to 2005. Right, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, as we pay tribute to our fallen Honorable colleague, allow me to state that non-communicable diseases is another threat to our society, robbing our country of game changers in the development of our country like Honorable Sarah Mateke. The government of Uganda has developed strategies and taken steps in combating this vice. Here below are some specific steps taken by government in addressing non-communicable diseases, not limited to the policy and planning. Government of Uganda has developed a national non-communicable disease policy that is of 2015, and a national non-communicable diseases control program and integrated non-communicable diseases into the health sector development plan that is of 2015, 2016 to 2019 and 2020, and allocates funds for it annually. The health care service delivery, government integrated non-communicable disease services into the primary health care services and has established non-communicable disease clinics and specialized treatment centers, continuing to train health care workers on non-communicable disease management. Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, public awareness and education. The government of Uganda has and is continuing to conduct public awareness campaign on communicable disease risk factors and prevention. So far, we have launched the Health Heart Africa initiative to promote cardiovascular health. Government is in a partnership with civil society organizations to promote non-communicable disease awareness. That, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, surveillance and research. On surveillance and research, we have conducted a non-communicable diseases risk factor survey of 2014 to gather data on non-communicable diseases prevalence. Government has established a national non-communicable diseases surveillance system, supported the research on non-communicable diseases and their risk factors. That, Honorable Speaker, on partnership and collaboration. The government of Uganda is collaborating with international organizations. For example, World Health Organization, UNICEF, and we are partnering with NGOs such as Uganda Heart Association, Uganda Cancer Society, we are also engaging the private sector to promote health lifestyles and products. That, Honorable Speaker, we have other initiatives. Under this, we have launched the Uganda Physical Activity and Sports Policy of 2019. Even at Parliament here, we have introduced the national guidelines for management of non-communicable diseases, that is of 2018. We have established a national non-communicable disease coordinating mechanisms. Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, these steps and many other initiatives demonstrate the government's commitment to addressing non-communicable diseases. However, concerted efforts is still needed to effectively combat the non-communicable diseases in the country. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, as we mourn and celebrate the life of a distinguished person who devoted her life in serving her country, she has been widely appreciated as a passionate human rights crusader and empowerment of girls, youth, and women for social development, as well as social, political, and economic justice. Honorable members, that Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I wish to extend government's profound sympathies to the family, relatives, friends, colleagues, and the Bafumbira community and the people of Uganda. May the Almighty God grant her soul eternal rest for God and my country.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Prime Minister, for moving the motion. And since Honorable Sarah was under the Minister of Defense, we'll have the Minister of Defense second, then we'll have a leader of opposition, and then Honorable Nwagaba as independents. Then we'll come to gender.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand and rise to second the motion to pay tribute to our own Minister of State, former Minister of State for Defense, using the word, listening to the clerk referring to Honorable Sarah as a former woman MP, former minister. It brings the reality back home that what we are left with is just a ceremony, that she's indeed gone. On 21st of March this very year, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief made a reshuffle. In that reshuffle, some people were dropped, some were retained, and some, only 2, were elevated. I happen to have been one of those who were elevated to a cabinet position. So my position, which I was holding, of course, when I saw it in the media, I didn't think it was true until the Speaker confirmed it was true. Honorable Sarah Mateke was designated and deployed to replace me in the Ministry of Defense. Now, the Ministry of Defense is, to many of you, you only know about guns. To many of you, you don't know what else is going on there. And nobody should blame you. Neither was I better than you until I got there. That there is a lot that is going on in this country, and it's managed through that ministry. Now, you get a civilian like Oboth, like Sarah, Honorable Sarah, like Honorable Huda, to be the team leaders. The best ministry to work in is the Ministry of Defense, because there is hierarchy and order. That's why anybody can come and work there if you are deployed, because I'm not anybody special. I know how to cock a gun, but I am not a soldier. So when we were deployed there, Honorable Sarah Mateke came, pre-visit, before handover. She phoned me in the office where she was taking, because I had not taken over the other office. And we both looked at each other, and she said, "So, Oboth, what do they do here? So what am I supposed to do?" I said, in this same place, I asked the same questions. What could a lawyer like me do in this defense ministry? But thanks to President Museveni for seeing what others may not see in some of us. Up to now, nobody can tell me the reason why he put Sarah there or he put her both. It's only him who knows. And even why he made the vice president, who is the vice president, and the prime minister. Though everyone thinks they can be minister of defense and vice president. But so Sarah, I found a very peculiar thing about her, the calmness. Despite her size, she's a giant woman, she's not a small person. She was very consultative and so calm that even if you're a Japadola who raises the voice, you will come down to her level and you talk to her. Now, being appointed in the Ministry of Defense, in the hierarchy of Ministry of Defense, this is internal. She is the number two, the de facto number two person to me. She's the one who, I don't know, yes, she's the immediate person. Right, Honorable Speaker, the commitment to service by Honorable Sarah Mateke, within 1 week she was asking me, Oboth, you said there is a lot of work here. Go my desk, I come and read, there is nothing. Where is work? I said, I asked the same question. You first read some flimsy files, the past files. Me, I was given files by Honorable the late Mumacho Duogo. I could read to know what happens. Then within the next week, yes, work started flowing. And of course, we used to have our jokes. We used to sit behind. Myself, Honorable Nyakun, Diana, General David Mohozi, Honorable Kasolo here. It's not by choice. It's by appointment that ministers of state in cabinet sit behind. We are not backbenchers. So we used to, we were in our own comfort zone, a club. We could talk. And now she told me, now you must be understanding how being a minister of state, and now you're a minister, a full minister. We hope that our relationship here will be very good. I committed to that. I can tell you, given her commitment to service, we had the best working team. She was a team player. She was very steadfast and loyal. In the Ministry of Defense, there is a structure, command and control. Command-in-Chief is there. For all of you, if you don't know, the only ministry which has the office of the president inside is the Ministry of Defense. So the commander-in-chief has an office there. So she never found any problem fitting in. Focused from day one on the purpose, direction, and the destination of the ministry and government as a whole. A little wonder she had worked in government in Kisoro, as personnel and assistant town clerk. Probably she was able to understand how government operates. She would not raise issues which should not be raised. The general Ilwelos who are here and the senior officers here know. We sit in a TMC, top management meeting. Honorable Sarah was very articulate. She would ask questions. She would give guidance. And within a short time, by 7th of this month when she died, she had been involved in several international military defense diplomacy engagements, including on 7th, she was supposed to travel to Seoul for the global defense event. On the same day she died. And that, you can only do that by delegating. You delegate somebody whom you know is not only smart, is not only loyal, but able and capable to execute the assignment at international level. That was Honorable Sarah Mateke. Her demeanor was real. What you see is what you get. You see a lady, if she was a gentleman, you would say gentleman. Her demeanor was proper. How she dressed, you cannot ignore her when she came to the office or when whatever what your mind is pushing you to think.
Members,
She was
please sit
particularly-
in, please.
She was
Please get where
particularly
to sit.
when she came in, from my little experience of being a Minister of State in opposition, I thought we needed to dedicate somebody to do the direct supervision of the construction of the military referral hospital. That assignment that through the TMC, I delegated her fully. And the last report was last week. Report full of wisdom and the way forward, as if she was going to die. She wrote what she wants to be done. We never saw this coming. I looked forward to discussing her report with her and then with the TMC. She was also, we segmented the ministry in a way that for ease of supervision, sharing responsibilities. I did it, and I assigned her to monitor and supervise all Engineers Brigade construction projects undertaken by Engineers Brigade in the whole of, from Masaka to Kisoro, and Honorable Huda from Luwero to Arua, and of course, Mugabite Esera. I also took this other side of the east. So we were working as a team. This government has lost a committed minister. This government has lost a selfless minister. In the 6 months or so, there's no single scandal that we could attach to her name. Either defrauding fuel or doing what in the Ministry of Defense, that would be obvious. The consequences would be very dire. the person we are paying tribute to her, if we gave her the opportunity to be here, she would love to hear that she knew God in a personal way. She was a Christian without discriminating anybody else. She was very accommodative. And one time I asked her, "Do you really come from Kigezi?" And she said, "Yes, I am a proud woman from Kigezi." Then she asked me, "Why do you ask?" Then I said the answer is obviously that Kigezi, some people use politics and religion in not very friendly way. And she told me she is playing the middle road. How I wish that we could emulate her. I want to thank Honorable Sarah Mateke for her dedicated service to this nation. As a person who worked with the children and the youth, when she came to the ministry, she posed the question, who is attending to the women of the soldiers, the spouses, and the children? Can I get permission to engage? TMC agreed with her. Before she could start that, she's gone. I had been there for about 2.5 years. I never had that in mind. She was like, she knows all the people who are not providing for their children in this South. Those who have children carelessly. She was very passionate that every parent should be responsible. And I know in this house, nobody was her client. So we shall miss her intervention on the spouses and the children of the armed officers, the uniformed men and women. We do not know, because she was yet to start after the events that we are having this month. We shall miss her greatly. And I do not know, at 50, she's gone. In that ministry, I was about 2-3 years older than her. She was the same age with the CDF. We were really basking on things that we are witnessing, a transition in our lifetime. Transition in such a way that how would you else term it, or say that Arnold Both from Tororo is a Minister of Defense. Another one from Kigezi, another one from West Nile. I do not know which other president would have made me a minister in defense. I don't know. When we know that in this country, defense, we all know the critical role. Honorable Sarah, you played your role. You smiled with all of us.
Thank you.
The last time she came to my office was the other Tuesday. And she said she would not attend before Gulu. She said, I feel bad because I delegated her to go to the East African Community event in Nairobi. And then I had a Thanksgiving. So we had to discuss with her. She walked in. Said, what do we do? Then I said, no, we shall delegate Honorable Huda not to go anywhere, but to go to Guru. And he said, I will come back on Friday but I will come to the function in Tororo. So she came back on Friday and she traveled to Tororo. The last public event she attended in the East, her words were all about God is good all the time. I didn't know that, Sarah, you meant that even today I should say God is good. Rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Both. The senior ministers, when you work with the female colleagues, you should always try to understand the problems of women so that you're able to help them. It's just a request. Love. Let's try to be brief so that we have a number of people speak.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to second the motion paying tribute to our colleague, the Honourable Sarah Mateke Nyirabashiti, the woman representative for Kisoro District and Minister of State for Defence and Veteran Affairs. Her sudden demise is deeply saddening. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to extend deepest condolences to the bereaved family and the people of Kisoro District, whom she served as leader. It's unfortunate that she has died at her prime due to a non-communicable disease, as we have been told. Her prime being 50 years. Honorable Sarah was generally calm and reserved, not too outspoken, like the quintessential politician. When she previously served as Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, she exuded passion for her role as Minister for Youth and Children. Whenever we pressed her hard regarding issues of youth and children, including their welfare, government programs and promises to this peculiar part of the population, she always responded with a lot of composure. Even when you did not agree with Honorable Sarah Mateke, it was difficult to feud with her because of her calmness. She's the kind of person who would disarm you with her gentility. We've also learned that she was undertaking certain projects in her community. We pray and hope that those projects will live on after her as part of her legacy. Honorable Speaker, my colleague, the Honorable Minister, has mentioned, of late the vice of corruption has continued to eat up our country, being perpetrated by leaders at different levels and civil servants. I did not hear of the Honorable Sarah Mateke's name embroiled in any corruption scandal during her service in government. And if there was one, then I probably missed it. As we send her off, may we all as leaders reflect on the imperativeness of not getting involved in corruption, but also using our positions and platforms to fight corruption, which has become an impediment to Uganda's progress. Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable Sarah was transferred to the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs as Minister of State, I saw an interview of her on TV a couple of days into office, expressing her desire to serve the Ministry of Defence, the men and women in uniform, and the country at large with commitment in this new role that she was taking on. Unfortunately, again, as Honorable Both has mentioned, the Honorable Sarah has passed on just a short while after getting into this office, so she probably has not been able to achieve all that she set out to achieve. As we mourn the passing on of the Minister laying before us here, let us commit to improving the welfare of the men and women in uniform. We must resolve, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the question of salary enhancement for the UPDF, which falls under the ministry she was serving, and by extension, police and prisons. The living conditions of our men and women in uniform continue to be appalling. We must address this long overdue concern. Right, Honourable Speaker, the commitment which Honourable Sarah exuded as she took over office would certainly involve ensuring discipline among our men and women in uniform. Now that the minister in charge told us about order therein, I would like to use this opportunity to re-echo the need to call to order the few elements among our armed forces who paint a bad image of the rest by brutalizing citizens at every opportunity. We continue to see stories of human rights violations by our uniformed personnel, something that should be in the past. On Saturday, 14th August 2021, retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa, in a televised address, warned security operatives against human rights violations and especially torture of suspects. That was an admission of this unacceptable behavior among some within the forces. Unfortunately, this warning was not followed up by stern action against perpetrators of the same. Right, Honourable Speaker, this criminal behavior continues to happen to citizens and especially supporters of the opposition and leaders too. Last week, my party leader, the Honourable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, was hit with a projectile by police and the military, causing an injury to his leg, only for police to say that he slid and fell as he entered his car. Stories upon stories of brutality have been told by suspects who get abducted using drones by plainclothes operatives, only for them to be produced in court with torture marks. In fact, some have been freed by courts because of that torture that was occasioned on them. As we mourn the passing of the Honourable Sarah Mateke, may we commit to not allowing illegalities within our forces, because all of us are potential victims, regardless of our political shades, as we have seen in the recent past. Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues. Finally, I would like to re-echo our call for military courts to stop being used to persecute citizens with different political beliefs, as we have seen for young people like Olivia Lutaya and others who have spent over 3 years in jail, with the court-martial denying them bail, and yet no evidence has been produced in court for their trials to progress, coming to 4 years for some of them. Right, Honourable Speaker, this is not right. And it should be condemned by all right-thinking Ugandans, regardless of our political beliefs. In fact, some of these people are constantly being coerced to plead guilty with a promise to be freed since there is no evidence against them to date. And due to desperation and years of uncertainty behind bars, it is easy for someone in such a precarious situation to give in. Also, there are families which 4 years later are still looking for their loved ones who were abducted to no avail. I would like to remind the Right Honourable Prime Minister, who told the nation that John Bosco Chibalama was arrested and is in the hands of the state. Madam Prime Minister, his family is still waiting on you to have him produced in court or freed to return to his loved ones. I say all of this for God and my country.
Thank you.
May
Thank
the
you so
Honourable
much.
Sarah Mateke rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I pray and wish that we leave Sarah to rest in peace. And I'm happy you said Sarah was a very good girl. There is another Sarah, some of the Sarahs left behind, called Nyarina Neza. What does it mean? It means good. Nyarina Neza. What does it mean? Kamara.
Yeah, Nyiraneza is just a Rufumbira word, meaning someone who does good things to other people.
Thank you.
That's what we call Ineza.
Ineza.
Doing good.
So we have another Ineza, Ruth, just seated behind here. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Lope. Independence.
I rise to second the motion for a resolution of this House to pay tribute to the late Sarah Mateke Nyirabashisi. I came to know the late Sarah when we met in the 9th Parliament.
Microphone.
I said, I came to know the late Sarah Mateke when we met in the 9th Parliament, and by the grace of God, by then I was still in NRM, she was assigned to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, the committee on which I've been a member for some time. And at that time we had the leader who was so kind and generous like Sarah, Honorable Stephen Tashobia. And he made sure that all committee members behaved as brothers and sisters. And from that time, the late Sarah became my sister. And we're so close. There are 3 attributes I know and I want to elucidate upon Sarah. The first one was her generosity. One of her friends told me, of course she was born in a politician's family, and at the time, remember the 1980s, the goods were very scarce, sugar and the like. But Sarah would sneak out rods of sugar, soap and the like to the neighbors without the knowledge of her parents. And that was Sarah. A few months ago, I bumped into a graduation party in central Uganda, Nakaseke, the cattle corridor. With due respect, most of those people in that area rarely take their children to schools. And that graduation party was by a student whom Sarah had given a scholarship, and they had no relationship. And I think he had obtained a diploma, but the party was really a party. I stormed it. They were supposed to give me a cow to give Sarah. And unfortunately, when I tried to call her, her number was off, but she missed the cow. But people were really appreciative. You could see her impact was not only in Kigezi, but also in central Uganda. We last met when we had an ordination in Kavale for Catholic priests. And immediately after the ordination, that was I think on 10th August, 1016 there, I requested her to join us at the bishop's residence for lunch, but she said she was rushing, but promised to meet us again. But she took to a shop 3 of her friends. And this is the story from her friend, one of the friends. Said, now, you pick a dress, you pick a suit. Now the one who was offered the dress said, no, me, you will buy me a dress when I come to camp. I said, how sure are you that you will find me arrive? Better take it now, if not. So she forced her to take something, but the PA, the man, went away with the suit. So it's like, you know, there is a way God does his things. When she was narrating to me that story, I said, oh my God. Sarah was extremely humble. You will never hear of Sarah Mateke with any pomposity. No, most of us in leadership especially, and especially those who go to the front bench, they want to lead a pompous life. Sarah was not. Extremely humble, social, and down to earth. You would wonder in some of the areas where me and her used to meet for one-on-one or goat ribbon, the like. Not these classy places. Very humble places. You Kasoro, you may know some of them, but I hope you are not pompous.
Thank you.
So Sarah was really very humble and social. Yes, the Honorable Rope has talked about her integrity, and it relates way back from even when she was a district employee in Kisoro. You would never, up to now, cannot hear about any scandal of a financial matter or otherwise connected to Sarah. That virtue of humility. Lastly, her loyalty to the people and her constituents. Sarah was almost in the constituency every weekend. Whenever she would not be outside the country, at least personally, whenever I would be in Kisoro, I occasionally go to Kisoro for some business, you would meet Sarah. If I don't meet her in Kisoro, I meet her in Kabali, literally every weekend. And I think it could have been a part of the reason she has gone so fast. She literally loved her people and has worked for them. Now, on that note, Madam Speaker, you mentioned the pending projects. You know, honorable members, there are projects which had been begun across the country. Roads, bridges, schools, and health centers, which were partly, actually contracts had been signed, works had started, and all of a sudden they stopped because of the changes we made in the budget. Madam Speaker, I would implore you, talk to the executive. Let us look at those projects in the entire country, and especially for us who come from these areas that are prone to landslides. Honestly, the bridges that we had begun to be constructed, the road, the schools, if we do not complete them, if they are not done, we are going to see death. So talk to the executive, the Prime Minister here, the Minister of Finance. There are a few ministries, works, health, education. Sit with them, look at those particular ones, countrywide, and let's have them completed in memory of Sarah. May my late sisters so rest in eternal peace.
How are you?
Thank you.
Your daughter also.
VP, you want to say something?
Aye.
Thank you so much. All these projects that were being planned for was in good faith and for the communities.
Where?
Yeah, VP.
Take a favor. Hey, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I rise up to support the motion as moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. But I would like, Right Honorable Speaker, to use this opportunity to extend my sincere condolences to the bereaved family of the late Honorable Sarah Mateke, and the people of Kisoro, Kigezi, and all the people of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I will be referring to Honorable Sarah Mateke as Honorable Sarah Mateke, but the other name might be difficult for me to pronounce. But when I would always chat with her, I would tell her that that name of hers is very romantic, but difficult to pronounce. It is very difficult to speak because the person of Sarah Mateke would always cultivate her characteristics, her personality on anyone who she felt was her friend. Right Honorable Speaker, I met Sarah Mateke in the 9th Parliament, and I found her very easy to work with, both within the confines of Parliament, outside Parliament, but also on social circles. The Honorable Sarah Mateke was the first person in Kigezi to take me to Kisoro district. And when she came to invite me to go to Kisoro district, as it was her habit of wearing a warm smile
Prosper, prosper.
had a series
Go
of
on.
activities around the time that she wanted me to go to Kisoro. Being a Minister of Education and having so many official activities over the weekend. Is that while in Kisoro, she whispered to me and told me that she wanted to speak to me aside. But I would like to persuade you not to delve into issues of security for this ceremony. And she told me that I should restrict myself to issues of the International Women's Day, which had taken us there. And she asserted that that will be for the good of all the groups in Kisoro. And that will go in tandem with all the interests of the people of Kisoro, including the neighbors, the neighboring countries. I felt that that was an extra care, because she did not want me to speak maybe something that was
someone called me, I started thinking about the confusion that is about to be in Kisoro now. I got my phone, I called my colleagues leaders. I said, can Kisoro now be peaceful? The person who is talking here is the chairman of Kisoro, chairman of the district leaders forum, patron United, patron Kisoro District Council, patron urban leaders, patron Border Association, and patron Tax Operators Association, and patron Local Leaders Chairpersons LC3s. I consulted all of them. We said Kisoro for Banyakisoro and Banyakisoro with Kisoro at heart. We must go, sit down, find at least a person that must replace Sarah, not causing any confusion again in Kisoro district. I am not the only leader in Kisoro. Tomorrow, the district council with all leaders like the northerners, people from northern Uganda do it, must sit. We look for a person without causing tension in the development of Kisoro district. Honorable member, honorable members, I'm saying this having consulted, and we shall at least find a way how we should continue with the project. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to request the Prime Minister, the road, the bridge that is being mentioned is in my constituency. The health center, Buhoze Health Center 3, is in my constituency of Fumbira North, where now I have decided to put in my money to look for a diversion of another small road that is not even helping us. I request you look for an emergency money. We see how we can help these people, mostly the delivering mothers. Tell me, a health center 3 that cannot now do any referral to major hospitals like Mutorere and Kisoro Hospital. This is an emergency. So when I come to your office, you just keep all doors open so that we can conclude this project.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I have no much to say.
Thank you.
But here I request for those ones who are on TVs, people of Kisoro, please allow us so that Kisoro is not, it doesn't go into another confusion. Again, let us see how we can protect Kisoro and we move into development.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Honorable
much. Right,
Kwizera.
Honorable Speaker.
I'm going to give you, they want to go away. Yes, Kwizera.
Right, Honorable Speaker, colleagues, the bereaved family.
2 minutes.
Thank the Right Honorable Speaker for everything you did for the people of Kisoro when we lost our daughter. Honorable members, politics is about perception and recruitment of support. And in our politics, a member of parliament is elected for 5 years. But it's unfortunate that when someone has died, you don't hand over. But it is the feeling of the Wafumbira and the Kisoro community that this flag does not leave the Mateke family. And the one lady who has been living in the UK, they have convinced her that let you be there for about this year. For those who want to contest, let them come to 2016 to avoid this confusion. The Honorable Mateke was saying, Honorable Kamara was saying. So this one gives confidence and the stability in the district. I know Honorable Sarah was a stabilizer and was a unifier. But in the event that now, in each and every activity, honorable members, you should be the winners or learners. So this one should be teaching us how members of parliament, how the communities should. So, yes. Honorable Speaker,
thank you.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the support of all the members. May God rest her eternal peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, I request that we be brief. We have the president wants to pay his last respect at 5 sharp. So let's spend at least a minute. Henry Daudi, gender, energy. Naume and the gang, I'm coming to you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Rwanda, on behalf of the people of Kigezi.
Honorable members, please, when you leave here, after the body has left, we shall get the address from the president under the tent. A Christian, Boykin. A Christian sit. Thank
you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Rwanda, where I come from, on behalf of the people of Kigezi, and on behalf of Honorable Mateke Kasaija, my senior minister, I wish to extend my sincere condolences to the Mateke family, to you and the entire people of Uganda, including His Excellency the President, for the loss of our sister, Honorable Sarah Mateke. Madam Speaker, I was in the 9th Parliament, and that is where Sarah and I met, and I got an opportunity in 2013 to train with Sarah on the leadership course in China for 26 days, together with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, who was Sarah's roommate in China. Madam Speaker, I discovered good attributes about Sarah in the 26 days we spent together, but namely, Sarah was a unifier, and Sarah would easily let go. She would concede for some of the difficult people like us to win. And she would concede for the sake of unity of all the people around her. Madam Speaker, on Saturday last week, I traveled from Mombasa through Kigezi to Kisoro. Sarah actually called me. I was on my way. She called me and told me, I am waiting for you in Kisoro. We were going to attend a party of the cow of Rwanda. I found Sarah waiting to receive me. It was the first time I went to Kisoro and was received by a receiving line led by the minister. Sarah sat with us, we had the party, and we went ahead to have an after party till late. We had good time. Sarah told me that next time you come here, we should arrange I take you home, because I don't want something to happen and then you come asking where is Sarah's home. Madam Speaker, little did I know that Sarah was saying farewell to me and the people I had that evening. We want to first of all, thank God for the gift of life we gave to Sarah. And we want to thank Sarah for the good she was able to do while on earth. Madam Speaker, today in the church at All Saints, His Grace Stephen Kazimba said we live a borrowed life. When I was the one who informed Diana that Sarah, I had got sad news of Sarah's passing, and Diana informed Esther and Esther called you, I was still guessing, but after 20 minutes, this person sent another message again and said, don't bother checking everywhere. Anywhere it is true, count your friend dead. It was really shocking, and what came into my mind, actually, for the information of our colleagues here, Sarah and I are on that road every weekend. Madam Speaker, you are my friend, you know. I always met Sarah on the road, and what came into my mind was that maybe if she was not sacrificing a lot for the people of Kisoro, maybe she would have managed the situation. Sarah has died on duty. She committed all her life to serve the people of Kisoro and Kigezi. We shall deeply miss her, but life will go on. I pray that the people of Kisoro find wisdom to maintain the stability of the politics of Kisoro, and in that way, they will have protected and defended the legacy of Sarah. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Daudi. Honorable Monge, Honorable Roth.
To Omtwale, Philemon Mateke, who is watching us on TV, to Justice Garabushi, sisters and brothers of Sarah, accept my condolences, the condolences of people of Ndogwa County West, Kabale District, and Kigezi. Madam Speaker, if I make a comment on our sister, I just want to say that we are very grateful for what you did on Saturday. I saw you in Mengo Hospital. I saw you in Sanje, and we are truly grateful for the contribution and the comfort you gave us. Sarah now belongs to ages, but we the living shall miss her greatly in many ways. We gather here to celebrate an extraordinary woman, a patriot who embodied so much that our country needs: unity, humanity, and hard work. Sarah was born, as you have been told, from a privileged, we could say, home of Mzee Mateke. But she could have decided to be a proud girl. She chose to be a humble and lived a humble life. She followed in the footsteps of her father to promote unity of the people of Kisoro and supported unity of the country. She worked long and hard for the development of our country, and at her heart, she was very, very much interested in the tourism lords of the Kigezi region, and I'm sure that this government, as the Vice President and the Prime Minister have committed, will continue to work on them and see that they get. Madam Speaker, we can honor Sarah by recognizing those things that she thought were bigger than party, than ambition, and money and fame. Principles of truth, principles of love, and humanity. At the best, Sarah shared what this means to us. We shall deeply remain in her debt.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Sarah.
Thank you, Honorable Monge. Honorable members, kindly you'll bear with me. The President's vehicles are packed out. Yes, a minute.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Sarah was appointed together with me and 5 other ministers.
Sechi, even on a tribute, you want to stand up to say, gee. First, hold on.
In June 2021, we were appointed 6 ministers in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, where Sarah was appointed as Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs. When we took over office, Sarah, in the docket of Youth and Children Affairs, the following week got a huge number of people who had come to see the minister. At the time, Honorable, the former minister, had a where she would see people every Tuesday and Thursdays. Honorable Sarah came to me and said, for me, I'm one minister alone. If I start seeing these people as a minister, how will people from West Nile, how will people from Kisoro, how will people from Kapchorwa access me as a minister? Sarah then brought a proposal and said, instead, she's going to be touring all the children's remand homes, all the children's homes, and meet with all the probation officers and decentralize the work for the probation officers. Indeed, Sarah toured almost all the remand homes, the children's home, and every weekend Sarah would be either in Kisoro or touring. Sarah built institution, preferred to build institution than to do work as a minister at the center. On street children, Sarah struggled on feeding the street children and got a budget from Ministry of Finance. Unfortunately, the budget was not released. Sarah worked so hard to ensure during COVID that most of the issues around teenage pregnancies were brought to cabinet. And indeed, when it was taken to cabinet, a policy was adopted that all pregnant girls should be allowed to sit their exam. And many of them excelled, and they are now studying. Madam Speaker, I cannot speak much, but Sarah was a team player. Sarah did everything. She was in charge of our Commonwealth and many other programs in the Ministry of Gender. She worked with the Youth Council, but she did not only work as a minister for youth and children. Many times when I was not there, you can attest that Sarah would be the one answering questions on labor issues when the late died. Sarah would be the one answering questions of women. I want to appeal to Sarah, my sister, because she usually told we are sisters, and reminded me that she carried the name of Mateke with dignity, and that the name Mateke is closely associated with me, and she called me my sister. My sister, may your soul rest in peace.
Thank you so much. Honorable Ruth.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I associate myself with the people who have talked about our sister. I am standing here to represent her because she cannot speak at this time. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, on the 6th of September, Honorable Sarah wrote a letter which she signed herself. Because I know her passion, I offered to read it to the House at this moment. The letter is written on a headed paper of Nyakabingo Church of Uganda, Muhabura Diocese, Gisorora Archdeaconry. It's an invitation to a fundraising dinner greetings from Nyakabango Church of Uganda, Muhabura Diocese. We are delighted to inform PM at Protea Hotel Pala, and each dinner ticket costs 300,000 shillings. The program for the day will, among others, include the auction. You are there, many people to come and do God's work. The Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Dr. Kanoni Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamu, will be the chief guest for the event. And she included details of the bank accounts. I'm standing here to request, Right Honorable Speaker, that since we are mourning Sarah, who is not here, and many people have talked about her passion to serve God, that you take on this function and preside over. I'll be there, but I think because of what you've heard, many people talking about Sarah, I beg to move that you take over this function on 27th, and many of us go there and see to it that we complete this church, because she's after signing this letter on the 6th of this very month. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much. The friends of Sarah, please join in constructing the Lord's house on that day, and we will do that. Honorable Robina, Honorable Naomi, the bedmate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the people of Gomba West and on my own behalf, allow me to support the
UPC, I will give you, I know Mateke was UPC, please.
Allow me to support the motion by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and for us to pay tribute to Honorable Sarah Mateke Nyirabashitsi, Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs. Madam Speaker, permit me to thank you so much for coming up to assist members of Parliament at their times of need, even when they no longer can talk. Thank you so much for going to Mengo and to Mulago, and later on to the Ministry of Defense, where I joined you together with Honorable Oboth and the staff of the Ministry of Defense to sit in and come up with the program and other things regarding Honorable Sarah. I saw the emotion that you went through, the motions that you went through, and I want to thank you so much for being there for us. I sympathize deeply with the President of the Republic of Uganda, the NRM party, the people of Chisoro, but most of all, her family, in particular, her dear son Isaac, and to Mzee Philemon Mateke, we say sorry. Sarah helped the people of Gomba West by giving us those bursaries, and many of my people are in that university to say thank you to her.
Thank
I
you.
can't, God rest her soul in eternal peace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. On behalf of Rushenyi constituency and on behalf of my family and on my own behalf, I wish to extend my sincere condolences to UPC. I always called him my president just because back home our people used to be together. So when Sarah came in the 9th Parliament, she became my real sister. We shared a lot. I think even when we lost the 9th Parliament, we sat together one day and decided that we go back as independent. But after some time, the Honorable Rugunda group came and said that, why don't you leave? And maybe NRM has got many rooms, you will get where to go. So Sarah called me, said there is a group which has come here. And I said, what do we do? So he said, you know, if they have been set by His Excellency, if we continue, we might have problems. So we took the decision, but we were promised.
Thank you.
Till we
Esther.
Madam Speaker.
You have not finished.
Madam, give me a few minutes. Just, I wanted to describe Sarah as a good entrepreneur, a visionary leader, and simple but assertive in character, and a visionary because Sarah and I sat and say that we must remain together as 9th Parliament, especially women, and we sold it to other women. That's why you see 9th Parliament is still strong, and we work together and help each other. She's the person behind it. Honorable Speaker, Sarah was passionate on children, and she had a budget of 20 million for the children. She wanted the government to add on the budget so that the street children can be taken back. May we also think about that, so that to remember her and think about this budget, increase it to at least set away these children as her dream. You called her my bedmate. Yes, true. We met we went together to China for those days with Demsasis and.
Thank you. UPC, just a minute.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. On behalf of the Uganda People's Congress and on my own behalf, I would like to convey our sincere condolences to the family of Philemon Mateke. And I would like to say that Sarah embodied her heritage well. She carried herself well. She took the integrity and the dignity of the political heritage from Philemon Mateke, and also the commitment to education from her mother. And both of those she excelled and carried it out perfectly. That these nothing much more anyone can say on the way Sarah lived her life. So on my own behalf, I convey my sincere condolences, and it's unfortunate we have lost a dear sister far too soon. Sarah, rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Esther. Honorable members, kindly bear with me.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and I want to second the motion that was moved here by the Right Honorable Prime Minister and all my colleagues here on the floor of Parliament. Colleagues, Sarah used to tell me of late that I'm going to surprise you. And indeed, on Saturday morning, she surprised me. Diana called me. I was in Kidepo. We had a national function, Karamoja function, cultural function in Karamoja. And Diana called me screaming at the background. So when I said, "What's the problem, Diana?" She said, "Have you heard? Musazizi told me." And once the minister tells a fellow minister something, there's no way you can doubt it. I called the bodyguard. She's still in the ICU, not yet confirmed. Fortunately, Right Honorable, I want to thank you. I called you. You were still in bed. And I thank you for taking up my phones at any time, because I call you when there's an important issue. You jumped out of your bed. A Speaker of Parliament jumped out of your bed at that time, drove yourself to Mengo. Some other people would want fast security to be around the hospital, but you did it because you love us. And you confirmed to me that she was normal. Sarah, Madam Speaker, we are here paying tribute to her. I kept asking myself and my friends from the day she passed on, does she know that she's dead? And I don't know whether she does. Was a lady of integrity. Sarah was a lady of dignity, class, God-fearing, very respectful. Sarah kept telling me about her father. I fear this because of my father. I must do this to keep the legacy of my father. I have to be this person because of my father. And I carefully choose friends in my life, because you must have the quality of a friend that I want to be. And Sarah was one of them. Imagine a person from Karamoja having someone from Kisoro as a friend. That means I picked her with a certain quality of a lady. Every time Sarah would see someone, she would tell me, "Esther, are we in the same government? Whether it's on corruption or some people have eaten some money, me and her are broke," and she's like, "Are we in the same place?" The people of Kisoro, I'm sure you're watching. Sarah was very dedicated to you. Sarah loved her constituency. I one time was very concerned, and I told her, Sarah, when we were in Chankwanzi, Right Honorable, I told her, "Sarah, your legs are swollen." She told me, "Esther, I'm over traveling. You know, I have tested failing as a member of Parliament. For you have not tested. And I don't want to fail again. I will make sure I'm there every weekend to serve the people of Kisoro." Sarah used to go on flight every Saturday morning to Kisoro and come back on Monday morning, Your Excellency, join cabinet. That means she has to wake up early morning from Kisoro to come and join cabinet. Very committed. Nobody in this entire Parliament does that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You get your own money. You pay a flight every weekend to go for your people.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to say one thing. Right Honorable Speaker, I know that when I was in the Ministry of Disaster, I visited our constituency on many occasions. One, on issues of disasters. Two, on issues of refugees. And this was really a pain to her. Sarah is happy with the following people. Sarah is happy with the following people. The Right Honorable Nankabira. She told me before she died, can you imagine I called her and she told me, yes, I'll come for your function. Just like that. She's happy with you. She's happy with His Excellency for having appointed her. She's happy with you, both. You made her happy. And she loved working with you. She respected you because of the respect you showed her. And she loved everyone in this parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana, you want to speak? 1 minute, Diana, and then Honorable Jim. The rest of members, tomorrow we have a session. The body will be in the constituency in the morning. We'll speak. We have a contribution from Parliamentary Circle of 1 million shillings. I've received a letter. Yes, Diana, 1 minute.
Right Honorable Speaker. You cannot speak after Esther has spoken because it was really emotional. But I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You have been with us. I actually asked Honorable Esther, how are we going to manage? But I want to thank you for being selfless. Like, being so selfless. You stood with us, and we are going to be able to send off Sarah. I want to stand here before you to honor the life of Sarah. The passing was unexpected, untimely, and was amidst grief, but we want to celebrate the remarkable life she lived.
Switch on.
Of leadership, truly chosen by God. She led her constituency with unwavering dignity and commitment. I don't want to waste your time, but I knew Sarah in Chankwanzi in 2021, and I kept teasing her how everyone admired her father, Mr. Philemon Mateke. We had two things in common. Sarah shared her father's last name, even when she was married, and I also shared my father's name, even when we were married. I always told her we have to make our fathers proud.
Allow me to cut you short. Sorry about that. Can close on. Muzee has come.
Because of time, I want to thank the Parliament and everyone for loving Sarah. Rest in peace, Sarah.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Uncle Jim, you want to say something? Just to greet the people?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I want to recognize Honorable Dombo there, Honorable Siranda, Honorable Semwanga Samuel, Honorable Mwevesa Sarah Wenene, Hajat Madina, Jacqueline from NRM, and then Honorable Semera.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I apologize. I was in another function of late General Aronda, but I come from Kigezi, as members may know, and Kigezi is Kisoro is. I want to talk about one thing, about late Honorable Sarah Mateke. Unity. She was a unifier. She was a unifier, and politics of Kigezi, as you know, sometimes suffers from politics of identity, and she was not part of it. So we are going to miss her. We bring condolences from Rujumbura, from Rukunjiri, to Honorable Dr. Mateke, her father, whom she emulated, and
Thank
to
you.
you and to His Excellency the President.
Thank
May
you.
her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. I now put a question that Parliament pays a glowing tribute to the late Honorable Sarah Mateke, former District Woman Member of Parliament of Kisoro and the Minister of State for Defense, with amendments on the prayers. Those in favor say, on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
May we rise for the anthems. Please remain standing as the casket is wheeled out. Please resume your seats.
Honorable members, thank you so much for coming to see of our sister who will join His Excellency in the tent. I now adjourn the House to 17th September.
apology.